Welcome back. It's still Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. We're talking about the civil service. This is because the week runs from 20th to 28th of June. It's an annual event to celebrate and recognize the contributions of civil servants. My guest is Mr. Carl Orakwe, who's the programs manager for Nigeria Info and had his fair share of adventure in the civil service. You're welcome once again, Carl.
Yeah, my pleasure to be with you, Sam.
All right, I'll get to my guest shortly, but I need you to be a part of the conversation here and now. What kind of changes would you like to see in the civil service? That's the question begging important answers. Remember, we are also live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. You can watch, listen, and engage. Civil service biometric resumption and closing of duty or work should be compulsory so as to detect actual civil servants that go to work. Presently, most civil servants are even out of the country just collecting salary. Some even work in 3 places. This is aided by top civil servants and ought to be reported and remove absconding civil servants from the system. Well, thanks for that. Another thing my guest will have to respond to is ghost working. Good evening, Sam, and the point man, Carl. Unfortunately, in Nigeria today, all you need is to know a senator, an assembly member, or anybody that is close to the corridors of power. Once you do, you're eminently qualified. Either or not, you can make sense, General Manowski says. And the next comment reads, I agree with Carl. A bad system would beat a good man 99% of the time. I like the way you phrase that. Dr. Ndukwe from Rumokoro says, okay, let's keep those thoughts coming. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we're live. So drop your comments on the platforms. Someone here says alarm. And why they say that is because the phrasing of the conversation is Civil Service Week, applause or alarm. And he responds with
Alarm.
Alarm. Okay, that's a comment on Facebook. Hello, good evening. Oh my, I've lost that call. Okay, call back if you can. So Carl, ghost working. I mean, just answering the question, you would seem suspicious, but I have to ask anyways. How do people pull it off?
Well, once again, they are aided or abetted by the system. Like I asked you earlier on during the show, can you be away from your duty post for 2-3 days, Sam, in a private system that works and no one will notice? Someone said biometrics, for workers. Here in this particular company, this is my second, my second instance here, basically for this company. I've seen how it's been upgraded in ensuring that staff comes to work. There was a time maybe perhaps people might perhaps sign in. There was a time when perhaps you had the clocking card and you have to insert it.
I met the clocking card when I came.
Very good. Yeah. So you see, some people I might get you to actually slot in my clocking card, say if I don't come. Now, right now, we've upgraded to the point where it's actually biometrics.
You cannot fit.
You cannot do that for me. I can't do it for you because it's biometrics. You've got to place your palm on the scanner and it reads your fingerprints, and that's what says Sam came to work. Even now, we even have face scan. Yeah. So you see, the system itself is what aids or abets that for those who do not turn up at work.
All right. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, my beloved brother. God bless you.
God bless you too. What's your name?
My name is Kingsway Oyo, or Elder Oyo.
Okay.
Please, about the elders that are talking about the thing about our governor. So making peace with our governor.
That's not the conversation, Elder. We had that conversation at 4.
Okay.
Yes. We've gone past that. Okay. Well, the peace and reconciliation in Rivers State is...
That's big news at the moment. I'm sure lots of people will love to contribute because everyone is interested. Things have been at a standstill for a while, hasn't it?
Now, Carol, I don't believe that, or I don't want to agree, right? It's not like I don't believe. I do believe, but I don't want to agree that the system has to be blamed for everything. Because the place of responsibility, and while I'm not referring to any interview in particular, I'm sure you know where I'm going. But let's look at, we've talked about recruitment and how it's not as thorough as it should be, but promotion. If you got in without having what was required, at least you stayed for a while and you were promoted. So if you can excuse recruitment, what about promotion?
Well, for promotion, similarly, like I say, it's like a reward system. Now, if we're all in grade level, so and so and so and so, when it comes to promotion, it seems it's a given. It's not written officially. That's not what it says in the handbook. You're supposed to sit a promotion exam and you're supposed to pass before you move on. But it seems a given. Everybody passes and everybody moves on, except maybe you now have a personal issue with someone in the system. So it comes down once again to the system. You will say, but I see that you're trying to say people are in charge for that promotion exam. People are in charge for the recruitment exercise. So why don't we blame them? No, you see, yes, they are the ones who have allowed unqualified or people who are not supposed to move up the ranks. But why are they able to do so? In a private firm, sometimes they hire an independent HR firm.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes they use in-house HR firms too. Now, do you think if we have an independent or in-house HR firm and what's this exercise? Can you imagine? I forget our own exercise. Appraisals are done. Then someone is moved up the ladder and the person does not perform. Don't you know that heads will roll, literally?
Speaking about appraisal, I remember last appraisal. Remember how well I did in last appraisal? let me say that live on air. Do you remember? Okay, just checking.
We're owing you. You're not owing us.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so people are in charge of the system, and unfortunately, people do not do what's right. But they continuously do the wrong thing because of where they find themselves. You will not do the wrong thing. So I will say it outrightly. In the civil service, apparently, we have more of that being done. People looking the other way than doing what's right.
All right. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Akanto. I'm calling from Borokwe.
All right. Go ahead, Akanto.
Yes, Oracle, you again that you have talked so much of what they are affecting or what to do to enhance our civil service sector. But to me, some other person have talked about enumeration, talk about transfer, and all those things. Yes, promotion and punctuality should be one of the hallmarks of the civil service. Like somebody in some person in Nigeria, even if we are doing low, is it not manned by an individual? The computer or the biometric is manned by an individual who know another individual. There's somebody working in school board, and somebody is also working in Ministry of Health. And I've been paid by the state government, the federal government. The one that brought up into Oracle is the Local Government Service Commission. People who work in local government areas, they are civil servants and they are working under a Local Government Service Commission. Go to the local government areas, Oracle. Some local government has a staff strength of about 10,000, 4,000, 2,000, or 6,000, because maybe. But go to the district post Oracle. You hardly go to any local government. You hardly see any person except those who work in a account unit that you see in a day. A local government is staff more than 2,000. Just through any the Oracle doing the these people have been paying with that.
What actually is the role of a local government civil servant?
That is why Nigeria considers civil servant as a dumping ground for never do politicians. Go to a local government, go to a civil service, civil service. You will see some daughters and relative politicians don't go to work. They don't go to work. And when they do promotion, they receive accelerated promotion. They are not who mistakenly go to work daily.
Okay.
So for me, they go overhaul it. Proper monitoring should be on the civil service. Otherwise, local government is described as dumping ground for never do with politicians.
All right, Akanto. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Dakuku from Abokeche.
All right, go ahead, Dakuku.
The smart doing the constellation of ACT minister and
No, that's not what we're talking. Why do people think we're still having that conversation?
I was quite unfortunately, I was listening to another station and Dakuku called, and the presenter had to just quickly say, Dakuku, please ensure that you speak on the matter at hand. And I've just heard this happen. And now, the caller before Dakuku talked about overhauling the system. Now, indeed, we need to overhaul the system. Let me tell you, Sam, do you know if the civil service works, government is working?
Yeah.
Who is government? Government is the civil service. Now, I was asking you just now, what actually is the role of, not just the local, what's the role of the civil service? Do you know I'm asking so? Because if there was indeed a role they should play, and we notice they are not playing it, we would have done something a long time ago.
Yeah, true.
So, I've always never agreed when they say Nigeria is a bad country, that if you were in the UK, there will be unemployment benefit. If you were in the US, there's going to be welfare. For a long time, I've said this. Lots of civil servants will not be happy to hear me say this. I've said it. Nigeria is the highest, giver when it comes to welfare. Majority of the people who work in the civil service are basically receiving welfare. Because what exactly do you do? If your role was important, it will be noticed that you have not been doing it, or you're not doing what you're supposed to be done, and we will correct that. But you see, people just, without going to work, or maybe just put on a shirt and a trousers and go to the office every day without doing on anything, and they pick up something. So tell me, is that not welfare? So I have worked in the civil service, and see, that's Sam. The danger is, all of a sudden, you do not have that bright spark anymore. You do not have that creativity. It's not you. You came in full of ideas. You came in with that spark, but you now come in in the midst of people who are not innovative, who never looked forward to doing something different and actually, tackling or solving a problem. You will fight it for as long as you can. But like your contributor says, sometimes it will beat you down and you now become that same thing.
All right. Ghost working is a problem in the Civil Service Commission, which I think the system cannot fight because the commissioners are also absent from their offices. So,
you don't need the commissioner. There should be an order. The civil servants should be able to enforce their own laws.
That's according to DaySafer. Okay. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. Please turn off your radio as you call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Evening, what's your name?
Good friends at the studio.
Good evening.
The present-day civil servants should be applauded because all the things that encouraged civil servants in those days to work effectively are no longer there now. And what were those things? Good housing, good transport facility, and prompt payment of their retirement benefits. They are no longer there these days. If you talk of the monthly wage, there's what we call the real wage in the economy. The real wage are what your monthly wage can give you. These days, 70,000 naira cannot buy a bag of rice. And you expect the man to be at work every day. If a civil servant can pay his transport fare to work every day, eat with his family, maybe a wife and 2 children, it will not be possible for him to be at work with 70,000 naira minimum wage. The government has taken away, the present government has taken away everything that will enable a civil servant to effectively carry out his or her duty. Go to the State University as a case study. Go to where you see offices of senior civil servants. The things that ought to be are no longer in place.
Okay. All right.
Hello?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We get the point. My final call. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, opportunity.
Evening, what's your name?
Indeed, Dakuku from I have called back yet.
Okay. Do you know the conversation
so
now?
Talking about the civil servants
in River State.
Yes, indeed.
Hello?
Yes, that's the conversation.
For the civil servants, most of them, it depends on the labor chairman. That is when the civil servants will know their rights. All these ghost workers you are talking about, if they find it's Rivers people or any local government, they have to leave them, employ them together, bring them close to them, so that those money will be paid. They can help you to do something. Like they say, this ghost worker, if they are really citizens of the state, they have to bring them back to the payroll and direct them what to do. In all these days, in our roads, we have lepers who are clearing the roads, but today, no way.
Okay.
What I'm talking about, bring them if they are citizens, so they can come and be earning the salary. In the employment time will come. I say this is a ghost worker, you draft it. When another person come, you bring, you say this is a ghost worker, you bring it. No, it does not, it can't give you development. It's a government money.
Okay.
That does have put the money.
Thank you, Dakuku.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sam, for the caller who talked about all the things civil servants benefited previously that actually motivated them to work no longer exist.
The welfare package and all of that.
I will agree, but we'll all agree generally in this country, a whole lot of things. My parents were career civil servants. That's both mom and dad. Were career civil servants. And yes, there were some perks that actually came with, what they did.
Yeah.
But the country all over, most of these perks do not exist, but one at least still tried to maintain a level. Yeah, he says, will you go to work when you know it's 70,000 naira? But it's the same amount of money most places and most people are receiving. But they still try to ensure that small unit where they are, that small place where they are. Sam, I don't know how to say this, that if we are not the politicians. Yeah. Civil servants are not politicians. But if we make our own corner work, we will actually push politicians to do what they do.
Sure.
And when it now comes, if the civil servants do not provide, if the politicians do not provide you with good welfare, what do? You vote them out at the next turn. That's what you do. Some will now come up with now, so what's this man talking about? Haven't we tried? We have not voted them. No, see, it's the same system that we have allowed eat up, the same bad, morale or whatever that we've allowed eat up the civil service. That has also permeated everything Nigerian, because we will not still stand. That man who works in, perhaps whether it be INEC, that man who works in the Federal Ministry of Aviation, the man who works in the Federal Ministry of Agric, we are all people. If we come to work and do, but see, the thing is that our inherent nature comes out. The system allows us to actually be who we are. You started off by asking, do we need somebody to tell us we should come to work early or we should come to work late? And I said, if the system permits you, most people will do so. So you see, for Nigerians, our inherent nature is what plays out, and this is what affects the entire system. But if we all decided, Sam, you cannot do it alone. If you decide to be the only good man in this particular establishment, Sam, it will not work. If you're going to be the only good man in the Ministry of Education, it cannot work. We all have to be able to do what's right. And I'll tell you, not even the politician, the appointee, will now be able to do what he wants to do when he sees a group of people behind him who are doing what's right and expecting what's right.
All right. Sir Oracle, a message on WhatsApp reads, instead of taking care of the workers, they are talking about ghost workers. What can 70K do for a family of two? It's shameful that the system has been compromised. Emelka Monday JP from Okpata Kingdom in Ekpayaland says. And still on WhatsApp, Joseph from Omagua says, good evening, Sam. It's unfair that our civil servants are underpaid by the government. Some of them are not promoted despite their efforts they carry out their work competently. I know some of them are incompetent with their jobs or services that they offer or render. So practical solutions, Carl, I know that you've hinted at it. What needs to change right now?
The civil service itself. I attended some workshops. I've attended, where they try to, impact the rules and tell the people that they should do what they should do. Civil Service Week comes. Sometimes I'm MC, I'm compare. Also, I'm part of those workshops. Now, yes, it starts from there. Can we go home from those workshops? Can we go home from the week and not just say, now them they talk, but actually go home and try to do those things? Then yes, whether we like it or not, government has to play its part.
Yeah.
And we also have to play our part. We can make government know that, no, it shouldn't be business as usual. This is not mere talk. The man who works in INEC is also a civil servant. Is he not? Yes, he works in the parastatal, he works in they are also, so they are one of us. If we all work together, we can actually make things change. We can make government sit up, but it should be a matter of pride. Let us do what's right, and let us not let our inherent nature come out and decide perhaps sometimes to be a bit lazy and do not what we're supposed to do.
All right, thank you very much, Carl. Well, officially the conversation is over. Carl has stopped being a former civil servant. He's back being the programs manager for Nigerian Info. You're welcome back, Carl. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right. After the break, 6 o'clock happens, and then we take the major news. Stay with us.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this.
The acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Smith Jaja, on behalf of Council, Management, Staff and Students, University of Medical Sciences, Port Harcourt, cordially invites the general public to a public lecture titled 5G and Beyond, Enabling the Future of Medical Practice and Training. Guest speaker, Dr. Yusuf Abdurrahman Sambo. Date, Saturday, 28 June 2025. Time, 11 a.m. Venue, Sir Simnalayi Fubara Theatre, Pamo University of Medical Sciences, Port Harcourt. Guests are to be seated by 10:30 a.m. Announcer, Barrister Victor Onoha, Acting Registrar and Secretary to Council.
Let your money grow, let it rise. Fast Credit is the name we play, no game.